Today we got a Chevy Z71 Black Widow edition. The roof is wrapped, but it is failing, as you can see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove and replace. As you can see, it's been on for longer than its life. If you do leave it on for longer than its life, it will come off in pieces like this. I mean, there's no other way that you could prevent it besides taking it off when you need it. So how I started the removal is I turned on my steamer and hit it with that. The steam actually helps with the softening up the adhesive and the material, so it can come off more in one piece than in pieces, as you see how it's already coming off by itself. Steaming the material helps you so you won't put anything aggressive on the actual paint, so you won't have to scrape it off or you won't have to pick it off, stuff like that. All you need to do is hit it with a little bit of steam. It'll loosen up the adhesive and make it stretchable. From there, all you do is pick up one side and start peeling away at it. I did forward this process just because it was time consuming. I did take about at least 8 hours just doing this, from start to finish, getting the adhesive off, taking off every inch of vinyl from every crevice. I did have to remove the antenna and the rain guards just to get every inch of this adhesive off. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get it as clean as we can. After all this, you do want to hit it with a clay bar or goo off on a rag, just so you could get every piece of adhesive off. If you leave just a smidge, you'll have adhesive dotting in the back of your material, which will look like sand in the back of the material once you put it down. But it's just adhesive, and if you don't take that off, once you remove the adhesive, it might get stuck on the actual vinyl itself. Also, this was left behind after the vinyl was removed. I do not know why it ate through the paint, but whatever it was able to eat through that paint and leave it soft enough to where once I scraped off the adhesive, I scraped off a little bit of the paint with it. I did reach out to the customer and told him the issue. He told me to go along with it, but instead of just going along and scraping the rest of it off, I did change my tactic and change to goo off and a rag to get the rest of the adhesive off, just so I won't risk getting more of that paint scraped off. And here's the next day. Everything is all clean. I got every inch of adhesive off. I blew it off. Today wasn't such a windy day, so this is the only way that you could do it outside, or I would recommend doing it outside. What I like to do is, as soon as you cut it right off the roll, place it onto the area that you're gonna get wrapped, blow everything off with a blower or compressed air or whatever you got, and make sure nothing's underneath it. From there, what I like to do is start from the back and work my way to the front. From there, this I learned on a CK Wraps video. Very informational guy. I followed him since the beginning I started wrapping. This is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to stretch to the sides, and you're going to want to roll the backing to the front, so you could have tension going to the front already as you roll it out. And then from there, you're going to want to pull up, tack to the corners, work your triangles. And what I like to do is pull to the front of the vehicle and work my way back, so the most of the stretch is in the front and it's anchored in the front, and you stretch it to the back so you won't have any issues with pull-ups on the curved front area of the roof. And how I started is I tacked around the sunroof first. I like to do this just because the more you let the material sit, the more it'll create air bubbles in the long run once you're already squeegeeing it. After you tack around the sunroof, you're going to want to hit the high edges. So hit those high edges, get all the air out as much as you can by working all the air out to the back. What you're going to want is leave those bottom edges to where you could pull up the back of this vinyl on the back end of this truck and let the air out while you're pushing the air back. So as you can see right here, I'm still doing around all the sunroof, and once I get to the back, you're going to be seeing me attacking those low areas. Also guys, I did want to mention the Z71 is a special edition. It is a Black Widow edition. The roof is supposed to be painted. For some reason on this one it was not painted, it was actually wrapped. I would recommend for you to get your vinyl looked at just so you won't have this issue in the long run. And here's how I show you how to attack those low areas. What I like to do is I like to heat up the material so where it can relax, and you're gonna put your fingers straight into those low areas with firm pressure. Just make sure your glove is actually wet, because if not, it'll create friction on the material and you'll get wrinkles. Like, it'll pull tension enough to where it'll wrinkle out the material. So you're gonna want to push with firm pressure, but just make sure your glove is gliding on that material and not pulling tension. The reason why you want to attack the low point altogether is because once you relax the material and you push into that low point, like straight off the back, the material evenly stretches into it. So if you work out to that area, it's going to have too much tension to where once you get it out in the sun, or once it starts post heating by itself, it's going to eventually start pulling up in the long run. And as you can see right here, my glove did get some friction on the material and I did get some wrinkles. That's why I lifted up and I heated those wrinkles out and I put it straight back down. That's a great thing about vinyl, guys. If you get any wrinkles in it, if you get anything in it, you could heat it out. Just try not to pick it up so much. As soon as you get dirt behind it, it is super hard to clean out 100%, and you will need another piece, because getting that dirt out is not going to be worth the time than just getting a new piece. That's why you start from the middle and work your way out. If you get a crease in the middle, it's going to be a lot harder to pick up the whole piece and reposition it. If you get it on the left side or the right side, you just need to pick up maybe about an inch from the right, heat it, put it down, and you're good to go. And here, working on the sunroof, all you need to do is cut about a good 2-3 inches around that sunroof, just so you can get enough tuck into it. And how I'm showing you right here is you're going to want to heat it and attack those corners first, because those are going to be your most tension. You're going to want to heat, put your fingers into that corner, and you're going to gradually want to cut shorter on those edges so you could get less and less tension to where you could just get it straight to that edge. And once you get it past the edge that the sunroof actually contacts with, you're going to want to cut it straight to that edge and post heat it. Once you cut it past that edge that sunroof actually seals onto, you're good to go. Here on the side of the doors, I almost forgot to start recording, but how I like to do this is I start my tack on the back corner right there where the spoiler ends, and I stretch downwards and to the front of the vehicle, so all the tension could be on that corner, pulling it to the vehicle. So you won't have any problems with it lifting from that corner or it pulling back because there's bad tension on that corner. You're going to want to take the furthest part of that corner as you can and work your way out from the corner to the rest of the vehicle. Also guys, as you can see on that door, I did lay knifeless tape before I even started wrapping all these parts. You're going to want to lay knifeless tape in that door seal so you can get a good 1 to 2 inch cover and a uniform cut all the way through, so it could look like a factory finish. Also guys, another good tip to getting all these lines straight is getting a laser level from Home Depot, from Lowe's, from Harbor Freight, wherever you could get a good cheap bright. I would recommend getting a green one because it's the brightest and you can see it in the day. That I use to create my line from the bed of the truck to the windows so it could be as straight as possible. I should have got a better angle on the roof of what I'm doing right now, but as you can see, all I'm doing is tucking it down underneath where that rain guard goes, so it's the very bottom of that channel on the straight edge. What you're going to want to do is tuck as far as you can into that, and then you'll run your blade as softly as you can, but just enough to split that vinyl all on that very bottom of that rain guard line, so it could be a straight uniform cut. And once you post heat that top end, all you need to do is put that rain guard back in. Make sure everything clips right where it belongs, because if it doesn't and your customer leaves your shop and that thing is not clipped in right, it will fly off onto the expressway and it will be your fault. These things aren't easy or cheap to find, so you do not want this thing to fall off. I don't know why I forgot to record that bottom end of the spoiler, but all I did was run a piece of knifeless tape from that hard body line that splits the bottom half and the top half, and then I cut it and ran another piece of knifeless tape over it, so once I lay the top end and cut it, it'll leave a good overlap so it won't lift over time. guys the finished result. Perfect around the corners. Everything covered. Let me show you the roof. Everything's perfect. Nothing torn. You do see a little bit of the paint that came off. But other than that, you don't have to worry about it lifting ever again. This roof came a long way, guys, from how it started to how it ended up. If you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.